Hello everyone, I'm Iron Phoenix and welcome to Starforge. Now, Starforge is a game that's been getting a lot of stick recently, and to be fair, you can kind of see why. I'm going to start wandering through the world because I don't have a lot of time to get started. Right, so when you spawn, okay, let's start with the beginnings. Starforge is a survival game. It's akin to Minecraft, and I'm probably going to be making a lot of references comparing it back to Minecraft because Minecraft, was the first big survival game that really brought the genre to the fore. And so you start off with a basic set of tools, and I don't know what all of them do yet, put it that way. It's not very big on explaining things, which is one bad thing about it. So it drops you in the world. You've got a drill. Well, actually, you start with a syringe, and you kind of got to go across to find the drill. For some reason, the drill is on the fourth slot. It's weird like that. And the task is to survive. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is make a gun, which is very at odds with, well, pretty much every other survival game that I've played. So you start out by collecting wood, and wood collection is slow. But I don't need a lot of wood, which is good, because getting wood sucks. Now I think this is iron. It looks sort of irony. I'm hoping this is iron. I can sprint actually. The other downside that we immediately see now is that the health bar the hunger bar is pretty low. Yeah, it's iron. Awesome. So you start off with less than half hunger, which is a little bit weird as well. So yeah, it's not off to a good start. This, I should note, is the beta, the first beta, and the differences between the alpha that I played and the beta is quite astounding. They have added an awful lot to the game. As it stands though, it's still lacking, and hopefully I'll be able to show you a little bit of that later on. So we've got a crafting system here. Just bring it up by pressing I or tab, and these are the sorts of things that you can make without needing any kind of additional anything really. So you get, I'm just gonna have to sort this out. So I want my gun to be on 1, that one on 2, and then those on 3 and 4. Yeah, that would do. So we've got our gun, which it's a zip gun, sort of a single shot, a very low powered gun, but this is all you can make when you start out. And these are all sort of tier 1 type things, so very low tier, very basic goods that you can very easily make without needing advanced crafting systems. The thing that I can't work out, so we've got this forging terminal which is used for advanced items, and it needs sand, which is reasonably easy to get it from the desert, and steel ingots. Now, I don't know how you make steel at this stage. I'm assuming it's iron and oil, but there doesn't seem to be any way of actually combining the two. I think you need a smeltery, but I don't know how you make the smeltery because it's not in the basic items list. I suspect it's a blueprint you have to find somewhere in the world, and the way you find blueprints is by killing monsters, essentially. So we go up to this mob, and hopefully we're going to kill him. Yes. You only get one shot with the pistol when you first craft it, so, and you have to make some more bullets. So for that we need oil, and we need iron, and we also need sulfur. So I'm going to go looking for it now. The world is quite large, but you'll see an issue with the world right now. So even as I'm walking over it, the world is sort of smoothing out. Now I can deal with the smoothing. What I can't deal with is when the world actually morphs while you're walking over it. So you especially see it around cave systems. Sometimes you can be walking on what looks like a flat piece of land, only to find out that it wasn't in fact flat, and it was actually a pit. And this is a main issue with the terrain system. The terrain doesn't smooth particularly quickly, and it will dramatically morph into something else as you walk close to it. Yeah, this is in beta, but still, it's a little crappy. So there are a few bad things about the game. So we've got the texture stuff. There's no immediate melee weapons, so without the pistol I can't craft armour or bedrolls or anything like that. There's also no beacons in the game. There is one, but it's not particularly good, because it doesn't last for very long. So you can throw it to the ground and it projects a beacon into the sky, and then you can walk away from your area that you've marked, say your camp. But because you don't, and then you might want to actually go back to it, and so you look on the map and it's gone. There's also no beacon on death either. So there's no sort of little emergency beacon to say, hey, your body was here when you died. Which is frustrating when you don't know necessarily where you've died. Now I know that Minecraft doesn't have a system like that, but what Minecraft does have is very, very unique terrain. So one biome does look different from another, and you can look at the world and you can work out where you are in regards to the world. So you know roundabouts where you died anyway, because you know the landmarks that you passed, even if it's landmarks that you yourself have placed. Like I used to use cobble markers before I discovered that you could add maps. So yeah, it's on that front it's a little bit weak, and there's obviously some things that need to be added to the game. Yeah, and having no melee tool, or just multiple tools, so I can't melee this thing, I don't believe. No, I can't melee it, and that sucks, because it means that I'm required to gather a gun in order to kill those things, but without crafting system, without having, yeah, you require a gun to be able to kill those things, which means that you need a gun in order to actually be able to craft things. And that becomes a problem when you've got no beacon on death and no beacon on your home site, because you might very well lose everything and then spend a day, because it does take a day to sort of gather the materials that you need for your gun, and you do need a gun at night. The monsters are pretty brutal and they will kill you very easily, and whilst that isn't a problem necessarily, it does mean that it's not a very interesting survival, because there is very little chance for you to actually survive through your first night. In Minecraft, for example, you can dig a hole and you can hide in that hole until the night ends. And it's very obvious when the night's going to end, because the moon will go all the way over the top. It doesn't really do that on this, and it's very difficult to know where you are in regards to the time frame of the game. There's certainly a lot of potential here, but there's also still a lot of problems. I think that's oil, and that'd be really good if I can get oil, because then I can make bullets, and then I can actually start crafting things. I can then show you some of the crafting systems, because the crafting is reasonably interesting in how it works. So you unlock blueprints. That's interesting. See what I mean about the popping? Yeah, it's fairly horrible. Right, that's not something that I've had happen before though, actually walking under the terrain while it's still changing. That was weird, even for this game. So yeah, now I can craft some bullets. It will craft 10 bullets per craft option thing, but it will do all. So if you wanted 1, it would do 1. If you wanted 5, it would do 5 versions of it, which is quite nice. And you don't have to have that crafting window open. You can craft something and then leave it to finish crafting. We get fibre and we get meat. Fibre is used for clothing and sort of bed rolls, things like that, whereas the meat is used to make syringes, and then you inject the syringes into yourself. The zip gun is alright at short ranges, but not particularly good long range. What's that? Titanium ingot. I don't even know what you can do with titanium ingots. The little creatures seem to have a chance of dropping ingots as well as meat and fibre. Meat and fibre being the more common things. I don't know what this central pillar is. And the other thing that I don't know what it does is, I'll show you this in a sec. Let me just loot this. Is that thing. It talks about, hold on, let me just go to this one. So protective spire protects terrain and placeables from natural erosion within a square area. Cost of spire doubles with each new spire crafted. I don't really know what that does. It's not particularly descriptive. But what I can do is make myself some armour out of the fibre that I've collected. And then you do actually have to remember to equip the armour, of course. And that will then appear on your player character, which I think you can see with C. You do actually have a body, so if I look down, I do actually have my feet. Which is rather interesting, really, considering that not many games do that. I'm running out of things to really talk about the game. It's not a game that I can actually recommend, because there's still too much work that needs to be done to it to make it into a proper survival game. The terrain popping in while you're walking over it is pretty much unforgivable to be happening in beta. There needs to be more descriptions in what these things actually are and what these things actually do. There needs to be some way of making steel ingots from the offset. Now, I think what you need to do is process it in a smelter. I don't have a smelter. I don't know where you get your blueprints for your smelter is, and I don't know what this thing is. It's in the centre of the map, and it's just something very, very big. And what is this? Is this your drop pod? Your spawn pod? I don't know. And of course, in the time that it's taken me to make a gun, the sun has gone down. And when the sun goes down, it doesn't just go dark, it goes pitch black. So you do need lighting in order to survive. Ooh, blueprint. Large MR. Ooh. So I can now make large. These are sort of basically food in a bottle. So what do I need? So I would need 10 meat and 2 water to make one of those. But I also require a forging terminal. Is that a forging terminal, I wonder? I don't know, because the game doesn't tell me. It needs like tooltips or something just to tell me what these things are. Just describe some of the mechanics behind the game. So yeah, there's a lot of problems with the game. Too many. If you're thinking about picking up in the Steam sale, you've now missed the flash sale, unfortunately, and I guess they might do another one. I don't know, but it's not worth picking up now, really. It's just a little bit too. It's a little bit too. I wouldn't say boring, and it's one of those games which you really do need to work at to like it, and you do need to not be disheartened at the beginning of the game by how annoying things are. I don't know. But all in all, if you want a game like Minecraft, go and play Minecraft. Or, let me think, other games that are similar to this. So Minecraft, obviously, Planet Explorers. That one's better than this. I don't know what else, because there are some others very much like it, but I haven't played them. So I wouldn't know if I can really recommend them yet. Even things like 7 Days to Die is probably a little bit further along than this, and you will probably survive a little bit longer in 7 Days to Die than you will in this game. Okay, that one has some rather useful. The game doesn't pause either, ever. So you're playing it on some kind of a pseudo server type of thing, but the game doesn't actually pause. And now I've lost that bug that I shot because of physics, and subsequently I've lost the iron that came on it. But let's see what I got. Large health injection. See, last game I was getting a lot more useful stuff. This game not so much. You know, I'm sure it'll be useful later on, but it's stuff like I would quite like to be able to make a smelter. I would quite like to, you know, actually be able to, you know, smelt my iron ore up so that I can get a better tool than the drill that I currently have, which is awful. The good points, it does encourage you to actually go and hunt. And it does encourage you to go and hunt the larger mobs as well, like that one, which is snuck up behind me, and now I'm probably going to die. The larger mobs have a greater chance of dropping multiple blueprints. But when you're using a zip gun and it's pitch black, and I'm gonna die. Yeah, when it's pitch black, you can't really see what's going on. You've got no armor. It's not a particularly good first start, because you just don't have the time to really be able to put yourself into a position where you can survive. And that's where it differs from Minecraft. In Minecraft, surviving your first night is fairly easy if you're sensible. Interesting, I can't put this down anywhere. Yeah, with this, surviving your first night is extraordinarily difficult. Not because you're terrible at the game or whatever, you're first start or whatever, but because the game is actively trying to kill you at every possible moment, and it won't let you very easily get back into the state where you can actually continue with the game. Surviving your first night is extraordinarily difficult, and I'm sure it gets easier as you go, though unless you can get a better weapon to defend yourself, then most of your time is going to be spending using a drill very, very slowly on trees to build yourself some kind of fortress so you can defend yourself. And that's no real... It's just not fun. You shouldn't have to give the game more chances than I've currently given it. I don't know what that thing does. I'm going to put it down anyway. And I'm also going to throw down a beacon so I can show you this beacon. So deployable beacon projects a beacon high into the air that fades after a while. Night is extraordinarily long, so I'm probably going to end this video here. I'm not saying don't buy it, but what I am saying is that I can't recommend it. If you are interested in this kind of extremely hardcore survival mode, where if you die you basically lose everything and have to start over because there's no way in hell you're going to find your own body, and if you like spending about a day gathering all the resources that you need in order to craft a single shot pistol and not having enough time to actually build anything worthwhile because the drill is so slow that that cutting down trees will take you half an hour. If you like that sort of thing, then yeah, this game's probably for you. But if you want a sort of a more, I wouldn't say casual, but a more playable experience, then go for something like Minecraft, go for something like Planet Explorers, even go for something like Space Engineers. You know, it's completely off this, you know, it's still a survival game, in that you do have some kind of survival elements in there. And the difference between this and Space Engineers really is that in Space Engineers you can actually take your time and build something rather than spend your time dying, really. So that's been me. I will probably play this a little bit more and maybe even report back on quite how terrible this game is. But for now, I will say thank you for watching, and that thing is probably going to see me in a minute. Thank you for watching, and I will see you, God, next time.